Grandmaster David Navarra entered this elite Prague Masters tournament ranked 10th, dead last, outgunned by all the big guys here, and yet what he did in this game will be remembered long after the tournament standings are done. This is his Immortal chess game featuring 6 brilliant moves. I have never ever seen that before. Let's dive in. His opponent was Nodibek Yakoboyev, a very strong Uzbekistani player, and he gets hit with the Catalan, named after our good friend Alan. Now we see pawn d5, and it looks like you're going to munch on c4. David says, be my guest. If you take it, you slow down your development, you open up the bishop, it's not played. This is tried and tested grandmother theory. They quickly share a fist bump at the board and explode it out to acknowledge the king's safety. Great etiquette. Both guys get their bits out, and the main move here is pawn to c ships, but a5 on the board, pushing the rook pawn like a boss. It's quirky, it's modern opening theory. If you want to learn some rapid fire fighting opening chess, use Lotus Chess in the description. It's the crushing lines feature that will blow you away. I've never seen anything like it. You'll have winning positions in like 10, 15 moves, destroy your online opponents, destroy your friends, destroy your neighbor, your dad, your cat. It's so much fun. Do check it out. Link below. Completely free to get started. Now we see this bishop streaming out, and after the questions asked, we see it give itself up. Now the top guys, they love the bishops, the bishop bear. Why would you cede them? Well, there's a lot of pawns on the board here. It is a relatively closed position where the knights can do quite well, hopping about. Surely now we win a pawn. Well, it's playable, but white can get the big centre or jump with the knight and open the bishop once more and look to win the pawn back. So not played. Instead, we get the rock solid party hat pawn formation. Everyone's having a great time. The rook blasts off opposite the queen, and the bathtub on the board. Keep yourself clean, folks. e4's now played. Big white centre, you can't live with that. So takes on c4 was played. Boom, here comes the knight, and one of those pawns is going to drop. You can't hold both, so black goes for this one, and this one's munched. This is what we call in the business a nay stack. It's like a haystack, but with horses. Pawn b5 discombobulates this guy, drop him back, and white's got some fun ideas here. d5, e5, can we attack this king? Apparently black's best is some kind of queenie maneuver, or knight d7, but this is played. Eyeballing the lady, rook ac1 in response. Now the queen slides into the game like this, maybe the second rook's on the way, and so David takes action through the centre of the board. Of course the knight hops in here, and the best move is apparently queen d2, queen e2, knight e4 is played, and look, this is why David is not a top 30 player, right? He makes these micro mistakes, but you got to punish them. Black doesn't do it. Best was takes, and then you can actually achieve c5, liquidate some pieces, equalize the position. However, in the game, knight b4, and it's a mistake, as you can see. The bar rises over here. Ival Barovic doesn't approve of this absolute shameless pawn grab. Dearie me. Hang your head in shame there. That's a big waste of time. Look at all these guys in Siberia. Here comes the first of 6 brilliant moves. It's knight f6 check. And well done if that one occurred to you. Of course we'll ask the obvious question first. Why can't you take? Not played. We're in analysis mode. Well, it's simply that the queen slides in with check. Let's say king h8. Being a bit mindful of this. I know f5 is possible, but stick with me here. This is the main follow-up idea. And you are threatening a piece which isn't defended. And if something like this, saying please take me, give me chance to actually arrange a defense. Well, white can crash through and the pieces start flooding. And if f5, well, everything collapses here. All the pieces flowing into the attack. Pretty soon you've won material and you're barely even material down for the attack. This is just one sample line. You basically just can't afford to open the king. So this was played. Takes with the pawn. Again, if pawn takes, it's way too risky. Check. Queen h4, knight g4 on the way, bishop e4. These are the themes of the attack. So this is the best defensive move. Played. Takes, of course. King recaptures. Knight g4. Not only eyeing some sensitive dark squares, but this queen checks on the way. And f6 not possible. Queen takes. Queen f6 not possible. Knight takes. So this was tried. Weird looking move. We're about to see the idea. Check. And you do have to play f6. Because if you step somewhere like this, well, the knight jumps and you're walking into the whirlwind anyway. It's not good. You can even start with this move. You're getting destroyed. So in the game, f6. Very stinky. Drops a pawn. This bishop backs up. We see the point of the rook move. Queen e2. Yes, you can take. But you actually invite the queen in, keep picking up tempos for white. Bishop e4 is on the way. It's murder on the dark squares. Sophie Ellis-Baxter hit. So in the game, queen d6, knight e3 now. You'd love to disappear this bishop. Fork the king and queen. Not possible. It develops into the game. And how does white continue the attack here? How do you throw more fuel on the fire? Of course, you punch through the center of the board with that one. If you start taking with black, you're still in a world of pain after rook takes at the end of the liquidation and you open the diagonal. Lots of problems. So c5 is the best move. Desperate to keep the eyes closed of the sniper. But here comes the second brilliancy. What do you think David played here? Oh, it's queen takes on b5. David Navarra take a bow. It's simple, but it's beautiful. Takes, knife f5 check, king goes, and it's just a completely lost endgame for black. One of these pawns is dropping. This is a monster passed pawn. This is a monster bishop. Plus white's got the safer king. It's really all she wrote at this level of chess. So we didn't see takes. We saw this top move, top defensive resource. Knight c2. It's getting tricky. If you take this knight, then you're no longer threatening this check, and black can take the queen. So the second brilliancy is played in a row, the third of the game. Queen c6. How good is this game? The gift that keeps on giving. There's still 3 more brilliancies to come. And if you take, it's the same thing again, right? You know, something like this. I'm not saying king f7 was the best square, but whatever, you get the idea. White is winning. You know, you're attacking here and there's ideas here, and black just doesn't have time to start winning an exchange. So let's back up. This doesn't work. So queen e7 was tried, moving away from the attack of this queen and defending the bishop still, keeping an eye on this. Queen c7's now on the board, given the question mark, but it's harsh. It was the second top move. d6 was apparently the first top move. Knight takes on e3 now played, and it creates real counterplay ideas. You know, if pawn takes, well, that's a check after queen recaptures, so that was not played. The best move is now here. d6, and it's David punching his ticket to a masterpiece, an immortal game here. You've got a choice. If you go queen f7 to stay with the bishop, well, then you lose connection with the knight. So queen e6 was played. Now I mention this one because it was the preferred of the all-powerful Stockness monster. But this is very understandable. Stay in touch with both pieces. But now we get Chewbacca's favourite move, the Wookiee one. Pin and win, baby. You can't move the knight, of course. So rook a6 was tried. Rook a8 was actually better. as I was indicating there. Keep the queen away, take the d-pawn. But this is the game. This one's going to drop. So rook ad1 defends. More beautiful chess. This is the only move to actually keep a significant advantage for white. You can't take. You drop your lady. So queen g4 was tried. And it's really not the best defense. But it's a very human defense. You know, you hit a rook. So if takes the knight, you take a rook with check. You stay in touch with the bishop. Sure, this move can be played, again given a brilliancy with all these pieces hanging, but queen a4 is the planned response. Hold the bishop still, hit the rook still, so you still can't play rook takes on e3. This is the follow-up. How does white continue? I mean, this is just too good. Hit the queen, distract it. Now she takes that pawn. If you start backing up this way, well, now you can cleanly take the knight. There's no pressure on the rook. And white remains killing it. Preparing to invade on the 2nd rank or 7th rank. And bishop f1 ideas in the air. So this was played. Now queen takes on d7 check. You know, you lost the connection. And just like that, white is restoring the material and still has the initiative and the passed pawn here. It's deadly. Queen c8's a winning move. Top move when you run it with the all-powerful, but not what was played by David. It's the 5th of 6 brilliancies. Check this one out. He sacrifices the queen. Oh, it's too good. It's too good. King recaptures. Now he pushes the pawn. This one's heading. So we see knight takes on g2 this time, hitting the rook here. And how about this? For the 6th brilliancy of the game, move 41. It's rook e7 check. I mean, this is immortal chess. It really, really is. 6 brilliancies in the game. David Navarra, take a bow. The whole point is now he queens with check. That one's been in the delivery suite a while. The rook joins the party, and you don't even need to collect your material. The king hunt is on, and David's sensing that this is a stunning, beautiful game for the collection. Don't touch the knight, box in the king, threaten the mate in two. So this was played, desperately trying to cover that g4 square, stop the queen making use of it. But anyway, check. Anyway, it's mate in 4 after rook g6, h4 check. The king steps to f6 and dies. But if you'd have stepped to h5, then this is the finish. The king's got no squares, so you have to interpose with the rook, and you can simply slam it off the board. This the only move, and you checkmate with queen and pawn. But no king h5. This was the move played on the board. It allows a checkmate in 1. And here it is. 48 moves of glorious harmony. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Do seriously check out Lotus Chess if you want to play some of this fighting stuff. And have a look at the video on screen if you want to see another immortal game played by Yaz Khan earlier this year. Blew me away, honestly. Thanks a lot for watching and see you soon. Cheers.